Welcome back to the Means Report, everybody. We're talking about organ, eye, and tissue donation today and how simple it is to take part in that life-saving gift. We're going to explain everything you need to know as this broadcast continues. But first, I want to let you hear one woman's story who knows firsthand, I mean big time firsthand, how important this issue is. Her name is Tracy Ide. She's the Public Affairs Coordinator for LifeLink of Georgia. That's the agency that you need to go through to set up organ, eye, and tissue donations. And Tracy, I appreciate you taking the time to be here today.
Thank you for having me.
Well, you're welcome. First of all, I know it's your job to speak out about organ, eye, and tissue donation,
Yes.
but it's so much more than that for you. Tell me about your mother's situation, how you first became aware that it was serious, and just what transpired after that.
Okay. Well, way back in 1994, my mom was having chest pains one day. Didn't think much about it. Went to the doctor finally, and they just said she had some stress. Not to worry about it. Sent her home. A few days later, she went to congestive heart failure. Got her in the hospital. Found out she had cardiomyopathy, which is a heart disease that causes your heart to enlarge.
How long had she had it? Do we know?
They don't know. A virus just attacked her heart. She was sick, and then it just went to her heart. Your heart is supposed to be the size of your fist. On that day, hers was 2 times the size. They said it's just going to get bigger and bigger. They sent her home from the hospital and said, for 1 year, you're going to be on bed rest.
A year?
An entire year.
Could she get up to go to the restroom, I guess, and eat?
She could do that and eat, but she really didn't have the energy to do anything else. Before all this happened, she was super mom, where she was up at 6 in the morning, going strong till midnight, doing everything she could to make my life better and my brother and sister's lives better.
Yeah.
When we got this diagnosis, it was, how does this affect our whole family? So for that 1 year, basically, that's what she was supposed to do. Lay in the bed, get up to eat, go to the bathroom, but that's it. So after 2 weeks of that, she was sticking with the rules, staying in the bed. Every day, somebody would babysit her. One of my grandparents would come and stay with her, and she finally told my dad, please, just stop. I need some adult time. We all need the me time every now and then.
Sure.
She needed that.
And Tracy, I'm just guessing, you don't have to say your age, but you're going back 15, 16 years.
I was 10 years old.
You needed her
I
on a
was
daily
10.
basis.
Yes.
Little 10-year-old girl.
I was only 10.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's
So
okay.
babysitter's coming in. She's getting tired of all that.
She's getting tired of the grandparents sitting with her every day. So my dad told her, I'll give you 30 minutes by yourself. That's it. So that morning I was sitting at the kitchen table with her. Again, I was only 10. My brother and sister, who are 4 and 5 years older than me respectively, were in the back of the house. And I remember Mom looking at me. She kind of went, sweetie, I don't feel well. You're going to need to call your dad. I jumped up from the kitchen table, ran out of the room, and at that time I heard a big bam. Turned around. She was laying on the kitchen floor. I screamed for my brother and sister, and they came running, and we called 911. Thankfully, we lived out in the country, so about 500 yards from an EMA station, very close.
Yeah.
Ambulance got there very quickly. When the EMTs walked in, my sister and I were on either side of Mom, holding her hand, telling her we loved her and she was going to be okay.
She was conscious?
We didn't know. I was only 10.
Yeah.
So I was telling her, I love you. You're going to be okay, over and over again. I was saying it more for myself to kind of get my 10-year-old mind wrapped about what was happening. But as soon as the EMTs rushed in, her heart stopped beating. She stopped breathing in our kitchen floor. So literally she died in our kitchen floor with her 3 children in the room with her.
My goodness.
They had to shock her 4 times with the paddles to get her heart started again. Got her in the ambulance, shocked her again because her heart stopped on the way to the hospital. She was in ICU for a while. Came home a week before Christmas, and that kind of became our favorite time of the year because Mom was home for Christmas. But our lives very much changed after this. For 7.5 years, she lived with cardiomyopathy, where her life really was spent resting, laying in the bed.
Oh my gosh. I mean, her role as a mother was just completely
changed. My brother and sister went off to college. I'm the youngest. I was there. I became kind of the mom in our house, where I would go to school, come home, instead of going out and hanging out with your friends, I would be the one staying home, cleaning the house, cooking, helping my dad keep the family together. And it's just because we had no choice. We all needed to do what we needed to do to make the situation livable. In 2002, I graduated high school, and they told Mom, there's nothing else we can do for you. If you want to see your baby daughter graduate, want to see her go to college, you're going to need a heart transplant. Never thought that it would affect, we all put organ donor on our license.
Sure.
But we never thought, this is something we're actually going to need one day.
No one does.
No one thinks about it. It's just yes, that's it. So she thought about it, prayed about it. It was a very difficult decision because she knew someone was going to die for her to live. wasn't going to be our fault. We were going to go, hey, you're pretty cute. Can I have your heart?
Yeah.
It's not going to happen like that. It's going to be a tragic situation. But she finally decided that it beat the alternative. So she put her name on the United Network of Organ Share and Transplant waiting list in 2002. A week before I was leaving to go to college, we got the call that her gift was on the way.
Man.
She was actually in the hospital waiting. She'd been in the hospital for a couple of weeks, and they had told her she wasn't leaving until she got her heart. Ended up getting her gift wee hours the morning of August 3rd. When they took her heart out, it was the size of this football that you mentioned earlier.
That was your mother's heart.
This was her heart.
Well, that's scary.
I told you earlier, this is a normal heart. When we started, hers was 2 times the size, and it had grown to this size.
I don't know. You have to wonder how she could even breathe or talk with that inside of her.
A miracle that she could.
Yeah.
And they say that if they had not found a heart for her, she would have died within days.
Oh my gosh.
So 7.5 years living with someone like this, now she has a brand new healthy heart. She is back to doing the things that she couldn't do for those 7.5 years.
What is she like compared to how she was? Can she move around?
She can do anything that you and I can do and better.
Yeah.
She is now back to playing the organ at our church. This was us the night of the transplant.
What are those notes?
Mother is very, she likes to be in charge, likes to know what's going on.
Yeah.
So I kept track of her surgery. I didn't have a paper the night in the hospital, so I did it on a hospital napkin. So you can see this is when they started her surgery at 2:45 in the morning.
Gee whiz.
4 hours later, she was done.
Look at 522, exchanging the hearts.
Yes. And this is what the doctor would call, and they would tell us. The nurses would update us every little bit. So only 4 hours, she was done. Later that afternoon, the respirator was out, and she was waking up, able to talk to us.
And felt okay?
Felt okay. She said as soon as she woke up, she felt a difference. She knew that it was different. 2 days later, after her transplant, she was walking the hallways. She hadn't walked long distances in forever, and she was like speed walking down the hallway, and she felt fine. 1 week after her transplant, she was out of the hospital.
1 week later.
1 week
discharged.
later. Discharged.
Whose heart was it? Do y'all know?
We do the donation process is done confidential. So at first we did not know. We asked that as LifeLink, we asked that you write letters to the donor family just to say thank you, because they've lost a loved one, but they made the unselfish gift of organ donation. So Mom wrote that letter, and after communicating for 5 years back and forth with the donor mom, we learned that her donor was a 28-year-old male named Ty Harrison Bray. We actually got to meet him. So we met his mother, his father, and his little girl. He had a little girl when he passed away.
How did he die?
He died of an aneurysm. It was very sudden, but he had made the organ donation decision on his license, and his family knew that's what he wanted to do. So because of Ty's decision, I have my mom. She's been able to see me graduate college, get married. My brother and I got married within a month of each other, and she was there for all of that.
Oh, that's amazing.
She has went to the transplant games and won a bronze medal in a 13K bike race.
Oh my goodness.
13K.
And that's her bottom middle?
Yes, it is. And this was the week that she got discharged. The medicine she was on made her cheeks chubby. So we all made the chubby face just so she wouldn't feel bad in the picture.
I was going to ask.
This was us this last Christmas, our family, the 5 of us with our significant others.
Y'all look happy.
We are. We are a very happy family.
I tell you what, that is an absolutely happy story to be sure, and it is an example of how LifeLink and how organ donation can play such an important role. Now, I have to tell you before we go to break, because I want to tell everybody how they can take part in this, but isn't there a history of the Jefferson Award in your family? Can you tell me a little bit about that? And if not, Marlena, you mentioned the Jefferson Award. Marlena is our producer. We do have an organ donor who has won our Jefferson Award before, so the point is organ donation is very familiar to the News Channel 6 family and to the Means Report, and it's a pleasure to have you here to talk more about it. I want you to tell our viewers, though, when we come back, how they can become an organ donor.
Definitely can do that.
And also have some questions. A lot of people are scared of it, and I think that probably that fear is born out of just not knowing.
Yes, there's a lot of myths out there, so today we will dispel those myths and get the facts out there and tell them how they can sign up here in Georgia and South Carolina. Okay, we'll talk about those issues, and important ones to be sure. They saved Tracy's mom's life, and they could probably save the life of someone you know, perhaps your own. Stay with us. The Means Report will be back in just a moment.